Hello everybody and welcome back to a new video. Today we are going to be talking about Minecraft projects and build ideas for your survival world because, let's be honest, sometimes you want to play Minecraft but you just don't know what to do. It's happened to me so many times. I'm like, I want to play Minecraft, and then I'm like, I don't know what to do. So I've compiled a list of things that I would like to do in my current hardcore series, which I will link up in the cards, and some ideas for you to do as well that I might not get around to. So the first thing I want to do in almost every world is get a fully decked out enchantment set up. Especially in my hardcore world, these little enchantment books are going to be really helpful in ensuring I stay alive and just making my life easier in general, so always a good idea to do that. The second idea is to make a bunch of easy observer farms. So very simple designs with just pistons, observers, a piece of redstone, and some sugarcane or some kelp or some bamboo, anything you'd like basically that grows vertically. And these are so good. In survival, they're just so good. You just put them on, unless you're struggling with lag. These what makes my life so easy. I love them so much, and you can just keep creating them. They're just so great. And if you're interested in redstone, you can learn to build more complicated but still useful contraptions, like flying machine version of sugarcane farms to get more sugarcane every time you yield it. So this is fairly inefficient because you need 3 blocks to grow 1 block of sugarcane, whereas the other one you can just have sugarcane water, and it only takes up 2 blocks per 1 stalk of sugarcane, which is much more efficient, but it's also a lot more complicated. You could also build hostile mob farms up in the sky to get you some gunpowder or some bones, or just an XP farm. You can make copper farms with these fellas, and you can make iron farms to get you a steady flow of iron. The next idea is to create ultimately useless but very amusing contraptions. If you haven't watched ZF Season 8 of Hermitcraft, that is just pure inspiration. He makes all of these sort of very useless traps and very long and convoluted. If you wanted a bucket of water, you could just go up, make an infinite water source. But no, he made a whole contraption for it. And along with your iron farm, you should also make a villager setup. You can create a villager breeder, even challenge yourself to create your own design for it. I do that almost every survival world I go into. I just have an idea of how it works and I try and make a new, slightly more efficient system. These little fellas, they will make you want to rage quit, but once you get it working, you will be so happy. It's a good challenge to chip on over a long time. Also, you could create a custom zombifier and a trading hall, and once you max out all the trades and get the ones that you want for books and materials, you can get quartz and bricks from villagers as well, which makes it really cool for building. You can use this to create armor, so make your ultimate sets of armor and create an armory, so you have the perfect gear. With the new Minecraft updates coming out, they're giving more use to more obscure pieces of armor that you wouldn't typically wear, like gold in the nether and leather for snow. So you could create an armory with all of the different things that you could possibly need. The next idea is to build an item sort of storage system, or just a normal storage system. Just a big place where all of your resources are, that you know where they are. It doesn't need to be super organized, just something that works for you. Or you could even challenge yourself to make a traveling storage system made out of llamas and donkeys and chest minecarts, and it could be really, really cool. And then once you get to a pretty good point in the game where you have lots of resources and time, you could make a mega base with a room for every different thing that you could possibly need, like a storage room and a sleeping room and an enchanting room. Or if you don't want to make that all in one big building, you could create a town and have a house for everything that you could possibly want. Then what I'm going to try and do is to get all of the advancements. There are the typical ones that you sort of get while going through the game, but there are more obscure ones like trading with the villager at the build height limit, which is something that I'm terrified to do in my hardcore world, but I will do it one day when I'm prepared to give up the world if I fall and die. You could also collect every single craftable block in the game, or even non-craftable block in the game, and put it in a block museum. I remember like OG Minecraft YouTubers doing this back in the day, but now that since there are so many more blocks, because there have been so many updates since that time, it will be so much more of a challenge, and it will be so much more like cooler to do it now. Although it will take you significantly longer, but it will like mean you'll have to travel to all different parts of the world. And it's a really cool adventure thing to do. Then you can improve your builds and your building style. Maybe you might want to choose a style to build in, maybe one you're less comfortable in, build things, and then for each build decide one thing you want to improve on, and then in the next build improve on that one thing, and then you'll see so much progress. Just building regularly makes you more confident in your ability to build. For example, you might decide you want more detail, or you want to improve the shape of your builds, or something else. It's just one way to improve how you build. You could also change up your game mode. If you have started in a survival world, but you're kind of getting bored of it and you want to start a new world, maybe try hardcore mode. It may be more motivating because there is an eventual end that you're trying to avoid, rather than a survival world where you could just keep going forever. If you don't like the idea of hardcore, or it sounds too hard, add a border to your world to constrain you physically, or just modify your world in small ways that give yourself more limits, which will force you to be more creative on how to build and play within them. You could also make a hostile mob zoo. You could gather up all the hostile mobs and put them in a zoo, or feature them in your build somehow, like Grian's Season 8 alleyway. He had like charged creepers and everything going on in his alleyway, and that's just such a cool idea, although it may be very dangerous and you may regret doing it in a hardcore world. You could also make a parkour map in your builds. Parkour is so fun, and you could improve your skills. I'm not a great parkour player, but I think it'd be really cool to add just like small bits of parkour into my builds. You could also create an underground tunnel or sewer network, and you could put the parkour in here if you would like, but something like an underground where you can change up the style and theme of your builds, but it's still in the same general area. And finally, you can create a roller coaster around your builds and marvel at what you've created. There is nothing better than creating a roller coaster and showcasing what you've created, and just sitting there and riding it and enjoying life. I hope these ideas have helped you and motivated you to get back onto Minecraft and start playing survival mode. If you did enjoy, remember to leave a like, subscribe if you haven't already, and I'll see you very soon for another video.